Climate change is one of the most existential threats to Africa's development, and increasingly to development everywhere in the world. Like I've already mentioned, climate change is already slowing down economic growth on the continent, costing the continent up to 5 to 15% of gross domestic product in losses that is caused because of climate change. So the choosing of this title this year is founded on the fact that climate change is that existential threat, and just energy transitions is also crucial because energy is like the blood in the human body for economic growth. And Africa's consumption of modern energy is very small. And that drag we have in terms of economic growth and industrialization is because we don't have the power that is going to be able to help us to move that forward. So looking at that combination of the impacts of climate change and how to build resilience towards it, and then also how to assure that Africa has an integrated energy system that is technologically viable, appropriate, and cost-effective, cost-optimal, but also viable in terms of allowing Africa to grow its economies is a crucial combination of a policy challenge that this report looked into. The 2022 African Economic Outlook report examined supporting climate resilience and just energy transitions in Africa. So the report is structured in 3 chapters. The first looked at economic performance and growth in Africa in the year 2021 and looking ahead. The second looked at climate resilience and just energy transitions in Africa, and the third looked at financing climate resilience and just energy transitions in Africa. Let me just talk you through the findings of each of the chapters. In the first chapter, we found that just like every other regions of the world, Africa was impacted heavily by COVID-19 pandemic. So we saw a GDP contraction of 1.6% in the year 2020. But in 2021, we had a rebound to 6.9% in Africa. And across the regions of the continent, we saw that all of them have turned around to positive growth, which is good news. In the second chapter, we find that climate resilience, that climate change is already impacting Africa in many ways. It's actually affecting economic growth, social progress, and environmental sustainability on the continent in several ways. We have seen on record several incidences of extreme climate events that cost Africa deeply. So as we speak, Africa is losing about 5 to 15% of its gross domestic product annually because of climate change. And this is why this chapter tried to examine how to do development differently in order to support climate resilience on the continent.